All right, welcome everybody to the banquet for the 4 Crowns 2025 here at Lanes Raceway. We got a big celebration fixing to take place and a lot of racing action to come later on at around 3 o'clock when we do our new Winter Series here at Lanes Raceway that's mirroring the Flexi Challenge Series put on by Alan Ingram. Right now, we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. I put the pictures of the shirts up on the right portion of the screen because they didn't come in. They're not coming in until the 11th. So, at least you guys get to see these guys' shirts posted up on here. Special thanks before we get started also for Subway of Livermore, 270-278-5999. They put $1,000 hard-earned cash for these racers to race for as a sponsorship here at Lanes Raceway, and we're very pleased to have them as a sponsor. And Defense 7 Technical Group also sponsoring the Cup Series here at Lanes Raceway and putting up $1,000. And then Lanes Raceway matched that with a free month membership and some track bucks also. So for a total purse package of $4,000, these guys race for. So James Deckard says, "Hey guys, hey James, how you doing, man? We're going to go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to start with our winter crown, which is also the Purple Crown, and that is the Subway Group 20 wing car. You'll see me glance down here every once in a while. I got the finishing standings here. We're going to go through all 4 crowns first, then we'll go into the kingship. We're going to allow the racers to come up, speak on the microphone, and let them tell you what they think about the series as a whole and how we're developing here at Lanes Raceway. But starting out in 9th position is going to be James McCutcheon. James McCutcheon, would you come up here and talk to us a little bit about the Group 20 Wing Car Series? Today I'm drinking a little bit of NOS here. James McCutcheon had a total of 130 points in the Subway Wing Car Series here. Sit down there, James. All right, pull that microphone pretty decently close to you. I might just swap you out for. Okay, I didn't know that came up. Like that's pretty good. But yeah, it picks up decently. So James, the camera's right there. If you want to look at the guys out there and wave out there in internet land. James, what did you think about the Group 20 Wing Car Series here at Lanes Raceway on Orange Track?
Well, they're really fast. I'm approaching 70 years old. My reaction time's way down, so wing cars are a little fast for me. Of course, I've been sitting out for about 10 years too. That's not helping much. But all in all, Lanes Raceway is a fabulous place to be for this hobby. I've been at former racetracks, and this one is top notch.
Well, I appreciate that. James, let me ask you this. Let's say that, because we know we're going to be racing some wing cars here as we progress through, if the Group 20 was to pop up again and let's say go on the blue track, do you think you would do a little bit better on the blue track with Group 20?
Well, the blue track's a little more of a driver's track than the orange track. I mean, you can hold it wide open down the straightaway and hit the bank because it's banked. It's banked on the orange. The blue track's a flat track, so it's going to be more of a driver's skill. But I think it would do a little better because it's a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that you and Sean have some pretty good gear ratios as it comes to the Flexi Challenge Series that we're in now. You guys got that wind about just perfect for the backstretch there, and y'all are highly competitive in it. So as for the Group 20, James, congratulations on 9th place, and thank you for coming and being a part of it and being a member here at Lanes Raceway.
I appreciate you guys, and Banquet's really nice. Awards are nice.
Yeah, speaking of the Banquet, don't forget to go over to Subway. They got, or not over at Subway, but Subway's got a bunch of sandwiches over here for us for the Banquet today.
And I appreciate Subway doing that. Man, I've been over a couple of times already. I got to save some for the rest of the racers.
Thank you, James.
Sure.
All right, and that's James McCutcheon. In 8th position in the Subway Group 20 Wing Car Purple Winter Series crown is going to be Sean McCutcheon. Sean, if you would, come up here and say a few words about the Group 20 Wing Car class. Sean getting some applauses there. Sean, just like I told James there, you have to be pretty close on that microphone there.
Oh yeah, I used to do a little bit of gaming.
Say cheese.
Lost the gaming, but
So, Sean, what did you think about the Group 20 wing car class on the orange track?
man, it was hectic sometimes. If you didn't have your car set up for that donut, you weren't doing anything.
Wasn't doing anything.
It was kind of tough. Some of them guys had them motors really whining down that straightaway, man. It was like a flashback from Ricky Bobby. Man, what was that just passed me? But it was a lot of fun. Looking back at it, I think I could have done a little bit more with it, but I was kind of in a time crunch for what I had.
Yeah, I mean, you just joined into the series. I mean, what, 2 weeks after we'd started? So you had a lot of catching up to do, right?
Yeah, I had a lot of catching up to do. I was about 2 weeks behind, I think, and I had to pretty much run straight out of the box. Which straight out of the box, they run pretty good. It was pretty fast. I had to change the motor out from that Falcon style motor to that Group 20 motor, which that thing straight out of the box was just screaming deep.
Yeah.
I liked it. That Group 20, it was actually a drag motor, but I geared it down as far as I could, maybe like a 938, something like that. And it was keeping up with a lot of the guys that were going to straightaway, but I just couldn't get tuned in for the donut.
Well, I'll ask you just like I asked James. If we went to the blue track later on, is that where y'all would want it? Was it the blue track or back on the orange?
I would love to have it on the blue track. Possibly have something that's like, you ever thought of having like a wing style flex chassis race where you can run up to like a Group 12 motor and any 4-inch flex chassis, any wing body? I think that would be a very, very fun.
I'm open to everything. You guys know that.
Open gear ratios on it, I think would be really fun.
You know, we kind of, I mean, I come from a union background in the electrical trade, did that for about 15 years. So I'm always voting on stuff. So we always like to bring each other together and kind of do those kind of votes. So, yeah, I'm open for anything. But, Sean, if you got anything else you'd like to say about the Group 20 wing car, the Purple Winter Series is actually what it was. It happened last winter before we knew you guys, and it ended up getting selected by Randy Kirtley to go on to be in the 4Crowns. That's how we do it here. So what else would you like to say about the Group 20 wing car, or if you want to say anything for that matter?
Overall, I've loved every single race so far. I love that wing car class, and I've always liked wing cars. But just getting back into it, I'm going to have to find my magic touch again.
Well, we'll be talking to you probably 3 more times, if not 4 more times, as we continue on through here. Or, I mean, really, if we get right down to it, we could just talk about everything here and then kind of speed the process up. So we got L&P 72 pitch, Hometown Hero, which was on the oval track, and Defense 7 Technical Group Cup, which used to be called Fairview IT Cup. Out of all the other series for the 4Crowns that we've done, do you have anything that was just a highlight out of the whole 4Crowns for you?
Well, in the order that we ran, let's say the wing car, we've already covered that one. And then we followed up with the Hometown Hero. The Hometown Hero was a very fun class. I liked the strict rules on it.
The strict rules?
I like that you have to run 1 or 2 chassis. You pretty much have to run that one body. I saw some people with a lot of creativity that I really liked on the bodies. They very, very good painters up here. And I think it was it Randy Kirtley that had the push bars and stuff that was on his car?
There was a few people had push bars. I think Gunner had push bars. I think Randy had push bars. Scott, I know when we was running it as a series in the springtime, he had push bars on his, Scott Daniel. He wasn't actually a part of the 4Crowns this season. But nonetheless, we had a lot of people run that series. And what we changed, like you said, we got kind of strict on it.
Having to run a 929 gear ratio.
929, and then we did the resistance on the motors. And, that kept them really, really close together. And it was just boiling down to whether or not you got in a wreck, and we all know about the oval.
Oh, yeah. It was very fun. My very first week running it, I think you actually ran it to where it didn't have the 3-strike rule.
Well, we ran the whole thing 3-strike.
Oh, no, that was a Saturday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mistaken on that. We just kind of ran it on that track, just kind of introductory. That was our very first Saturday there. And we ran
The rookie class don't have strikes.
Yeah, we ran it without the 3-strike rule, and yeah, I score up some stuff. Because if you have no repercussions, no penalties for coming off, you kind of start running hard and fast and in a hurry. And
Yeah.
things happen hard, fast, and in a hurry.
Well, since we're keeping in the spirit of it, that's how I'm going to do everybody else, and then we'll go over the last guys here, of course, that'll be the Lords of Lanes Raceway. Let's talk a little bit about 72 pitch, in your opinion. What did you think about 72 pitch on the blue screen?
Man,
Or the blue track, sorry, blue screen.
Say one thing, that gentleman sitting across over there named Guillermo Sire is one speed demon when it comes to them 72 pitches. And me and him we had some heated races, and that was a lot of fun. That is the name of this sport right here, is being competitive and having fun.
Yeah, and Guillermo Sire, man, he's been in the business for a while. He's created controllers. Of course, a lot of you guys are using the Guillermo Sire track buddies on the side of the tracks. He 3D prints those.
Actually, two of those, matter of fact, one for me and one for my dad. And
Yeah.
we're loving them. They're very handy. You can flip them to the side of the track. If anybody's interested in getting them, we have quite a few of them up here.
Yeah, not to mention you and your dad just brought back some stuff, because you guys are kind of some engineers, I guess, yourself, with the new tech tools, the 032s to get ready for the Flexi Challenge. We just got some of those from you. We love supporting our racers, and our racers supporting us. We work together. We can make this thing a big deal, you know.
Yeah, if there's anything on here or anything for like tech tools and stuff, Guillermo Sire and me or my dad do what we can. We got limited resources, but we're trying to do what we can.
Isn't that all stock car races? We're always limited resources. We're putting it all in our cars, ain't we?
Yeah, man, I got more money in my cars than I have credit score.
Well, let me ask you this. In closing here with me and you, the Defense 7 used to be called the Fairview IT Cup, but the Defense 7 Technical Group Cup now, what did you think about it on the blue track?
Like my dad said a while ago, James McCutcheon, we had run years back. I started in the late 90s, and we probably raced for 15 years-ish. And we kind of give about a 10-year time off. But we ran a lot of Champion Turbo Flex chassis whenever we were on we had Regal 90 Black Track.
Yeah.
And that was a very popular class, was running those. We ran those in Flex 2s. But just to see that come back as a class, it brought back a lot of nostalgia. I really liked it. And it wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow, and the field was pretty well even.
Yeah.
It just came down to, who had the bigger cojones going to the corner a little deeper than the other guy, just to get that little edge.
And not wrecking the final corner, right?
And not wrecking that lead-on corner, because that was dead man's no way to Wonderland. I did not like that corner.
Yeah.
They said that's the worst spot to come off. No, the worst spot to come off is come off right before the lap counter.
Well, Sean, I appreciate it, man, and I thank you for spending some time here talking and going over all the classes with us and what you thought about it. And I appreciate you being a member here at Lanes Raceway. And if there's anything we can do to help you, if you want to shout out anybody out there in racing land that you think helped you support you here at racing, you're more than welcome to do that now.
Well, I want to shout out to my wife. She's at home right now. Carolyn, I love you. And sad she couldn't come with me tonight, but I love you very much. And thanks very much.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing all you guys up here.
All right, next up is going to be Gunner in 7th position for the Subway Group 20 wing car. Hop on down here, Gunner. Let me see if I can get this mic down a little bit lower for you. I'm not real good at this. Here we go. There we go. That's probably about right, ain't it? Is that about good? Let me tighten that up for you. All right, Gunner. So you finished 7th place here in the Subway Group 20 wing car at 428 points. We know that you usually finish a little bit higher than that, but you know, I think y'all was running dogs and doing a lot of dirt biking and stuff there early on, and you missed a couple weeks. These things happen. It's kind of hard to get back in the swing of things. But Gunner, as for kids here at Lanes Raceway, I'm going to go ahead and just say it. You have impressed me truly, and out of all the kids that we've had here this past year, you've been dedicated. You come in, you run those laps, you're hitting it up. And I told everybody here that we was going to have a kid for the year. And this is just a little extra for you. You're going to be our kid for this year. So Lanes Raceway, if you got stuff you need worked on and stuff like that, You automatically get a slot that I'm going to work on your cars if you need it. Now, I know Brian, he's very knowledgeable too, but anytime Brian needs something done to your car, we're going to be there for you, okay? We did this for Jackson last year, and before that it was Tom T. You remember Tom T. But nonetheless, let's get into things here. Subway Group 20 wing car here. What did you think about the Group 20 wing car on the orange track?
I liked them. They're pretty fast.
Pretty fast?
Hard to keep them on in the donut. But
Hard to keep them on.
The straight stretch was pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, I know you're really, really aggressive on the trigger. You got a real high sensitivity. We don't see a lot of that in racing hardly anymore. Granted, there's a few guys that can still do it, but you're one of the ones that I know when it comes to the wing car. You're right there with Randy Kirtley. You got a car that's there to beat. What would you say is the one thing that when you do beat Randy Kirtley, you feel like stands out the most when that happens?
It's pretty fun when you beat other people.
Pretty fun when you beat them?
Yeah.
Well, let's go over Hometown Hero. Out of all the classes, which one was your favorite? I want to know that.
Probably the wing car.
The wing car? You liked it the most?
Yeah.
So what made the wing car shine out the most for you?
Because I like fast cars and...
You're after my own heart here, Gunner. Fast cars. I love fast cars too. Hometown Hero, though. Let's talk about that a little bit. In the Hometown Hero class, you ended up finishing 6th there in the Hometown Hero. Well, when you first started out in this, in the Hometown Hero, a very, very strong showing. Of course, we locked that class down pretty hard, and it made it tough for everybody because, you know, we had some allegations. Everybody was shooting allegations of everybody cheating and stuff like this. So we locked the whole class down, right? You remember that. We were going over, above, and beyond, checking resistance of motors, heights, widths, add-ons, all that stuff. If any of that stuff happened, you had to fix it before the race. We didn't disqualify nobody, but, you know, I had to fix it before the race. And I think this caused a lot of beating and banging to take place, but a lot of close racing. There towards the end, everybody would hardly wreck, if you recall. What was the strong point for you in that class and how that you were competing and changing with those changes?
Well, I ain't much on the oval no more because I like the road courses and all those.
It's just a development of a slot car racer, isn't it? It's funny when you first get here, that's your mainstay, isn't it? Everybody loves an oval when they first start out. But once you get the flavor and you get the trigger movements and stuff down and you get really, really impressive on this, it's a sight to see. There's not a lot of people that like to look at the oval, watch it race. But there's a lot of people that come in here and watch people race on these tracks. And when you get really good, there's something to be said about that. There's a skill level there, isn't there, Gunner?
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get a good rhythm down on the blue track?
Took a couple times.
A couple times?
Yeah.
Well, I know for about that first week we had this thing put together. I think you got here when we opened, and you stayed well past before we closed. Of course, you know me. I'll stay here as long as you guys are running. But I know for a fact one day I think you turned 5,000 laps, didn't you? Something like that. It was a high up number. I remember that. So, like I said, I'm just super impressed with you, Gunner, as we continue on here. Now, LMP 72, this is a little bit different of a change. It's we'll kind of factor it in with the Defense 7 Technical Group Cup cars because they're about the same, flexi style class. Out of the NASCAR and or the Cup car and the LMP 72 pitch, which one do you like the best on the blue track?
Probably the wing cars. 'Cause I like
Of the 72 pitch? Yeah, the 72 pitch was a lot faster. I like the 72 pitch. It feels like it can wind up a lot more and get a little bit more braking. Well, Gunner, we pretty much went over everything here. Is there anybody out there you want to shout out in internet land and thank for helping you to be such a good racer here at Lanes Raceway? Everybody? I love that answer. All right, Gunner, is there anything else you want to say? All right, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. All right, number 6 position, Nathaniel Burden, 485 points in the Subway Group 20 wing car. Here comes Nathaniel Burden. I'm going to try to get his microphone up here a little bit because he's a tall boy. We call him Natty Ice here, folks. Oop, shake that a little bit. Sit on down here, Natty Ice. Let me get this close to you. I'm not trying to bang your legs or nothing. There you go. All right, Natty Ice. Let's. Did you already get the picture? She got me with my head down. All right, he's getting pictures of everybody as they come set down. Natty Ice, 485 points here in the Subway Group 20 Wing Car Class, sponsored by Livermore Subway. What did you think about the Group 20 Wing Car Class on Orange Track?
Oh, I loved it. That was one of the most competitive classes I was in, really. I just missed a couple weeks, and it kind of hurt me.
Yeah, you went on a couple vacations, didn't you?
Yeah.
This was another thing. Like we was talking about earlier, we kind of changed the way we do payouts and stuff here. People have lives, and we understand that here at Lanes Raceway more than most tracks do, I believe. So what we do is we only count half of them, points-wise. Right. Now, the only thing we count every single week is if you are truly dedicated to Lanes Raceway, as some of them here are, you're one of them, Glenn's one of them, Jay's one of them, is the kingship. But that's it. Everything else is under point schedule to where that you can still get one of these Lord's Crowns, get a little extra boost or whatever. But other than that, everybody, whether you finish 9th position on this list or you finish 1st position, the payouts are the same, okay, as it goes for the 4 Crowns. Now, the kingship of the 4 Crowns, the one that is King of Lanes Raceway, like I said, they're going to get a little bit bigger bump there. But they made every single race. They put in the laps. They put in the dedication, things like that. And we'll be going over that later on. But just to keep it equal, here's the thing. You go on vacation, great. I'm glad you had a great time. You still was able to come back and race those 4 races and get in and move up to this position that you're at right now, 6th position in the Group 20 Wing Car. One thing I'll say, Natty Ice, and this is the truth coming from me, I've talked to my brother and I've talked to my dad over this season. And as from going from what you was to what you are now, if I was to have an award for the most developed racer, you have shown me you have been keeping your car on. You started out slow, and you made that your dedication. I recall that when we first started. I'm going to stay on. A little slow at the first. Next week you picked up the pace. Next week you picked up the pace. The next week you started winning races and you know, getting close up there in the top parts. And the reason why is because people were still wrecking. You wasn't, and you were starting to get that groove in. Do you think that was one of the biggest turning points for you when it comes to how you're finishing here towards mid to the high ranges?
Oh, yeah. The thing about these races are, it doesn't matter if you're the fastest car out there. If you're not turning the laps, it doesn't matter. It's all about how many laps you can turn. If you can keep your car on, you're turning more laps. That's the thing that counts.
Yeah, and you've done an exceptional job this whole season. I mean, I know just like everybody, we all have those race weekends when we can't dodge a wreck. But that's out of our control. That's part of racing, is being able to kind of filter that stuff and try to see it as good as you can. And sometimes you just can't see it. It happens so quick, there's nothing you can do.
Well, those Group 20 Wing cars, you have mere seconds to, not even seconds, nanoseconds to make a decision.
Yeah.
To brake or just gas it up and go.
Well, and that's why it's a part of the pro class. It's like we don't want people just starting out to be in that class, because what we'll end up seeing is a whole lot more wrecks, right?
Be good for you because you'll be selling parts.
Well, in one way, right?
Yeah.
Like, but there's a limit to how far people can go.
Right.
So if you're constantly breaking stuff every week, you're having a bad time. People are not having a good time with that. So yeah, do I make some parts off of you short term? Yeah, I do. But eventually you quit because you're not having fun. And what is the main focus of this place? Having fun. So let's move into a few of these other classes that you ran here. LMP 72, Hometown Hero, Defense 7, Technical Group Cup. Which one do you want to talk about?
Hometown Hero.
Hometown Hero, impressive. Very impressive in Hometown Hero. I know early on you and Jay, you finished 5th place in it, but you and Jay early on, man, y'all were forced to be reckoned with when y'all get next to each other, wasn't you?
Yeah. I feel like him and Gabriel, when they get next to each other, I don't know if they have a magnet for each other, but if you're around them when they get near each other, even if they're 2 lanes apart, one of them's coming off.
Oh, yeah, it's happening.
It's happening, no matter what. So, It's just another one. It's being on the oval track. It's another one where you have to be paying attention. You can't just be following your car. You have to look a corner ahead
Yeah.
because there's going to be a wreck.
Well, and that's also how you got your nickname, Natty Ice, because every single scheme that we done for your car was either Budweiser, Bud Light, non-alcoholic, of course, on every one of them, wasn't it?
Yep.
And of course, Natty Ice, that's just a good ringing, or Natty Daddy, either one. Those are just good ringing nicknames. You like those nicknames?
Oh yeah. It's,
Everybody here's got one, don't
yeah,
they?
everybody.
So is there anything else you want to talk about Hometown Hero?
I mean, it's a good competitive class, and it's almost where anybody can get into it because it is a locked.
Yeah, the 929 lock gear ratio.
So it's not a super fast class, but it's one where you can build your skill, even if you don't want to run the rest of the pro classes. You can run that one to figure out how everybody else is running.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's jump on in, because another class that's kind of locked down with the chassis and stuff is the Defense 7 Technical Group Cup. They sponsored another $1,000 for you guys here. What did you think about just running that on the blue track this season?
That is, I actually liked it because on the oval track, it was nothing. You might as well call it a demolition derby.
It was,
That's
wasn't
what
it?
was. It was a bloodbath.
We called it the pure debacle, didn't we?
Yeah, it was. But the blue track, with it being a flat track, it's more of a driver's track. It's if you don't know when to gas it up in the corners and when you're coming out, you're coming off. And at any certain point, it kills you, especially with a 3 and out rule.
Yeah, the 3 and out is killer.
And with that being the track being as big as it is, even if you come off on the back side of it, you're losing at least a half a lap there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those where you have to pay attention and stay on. Because if you don't, you get 2 laps down on that track, you're not making it up. Unless the guy in front of you just messes up and stuff.
Yes. Well, speaking of staying on, this was the one class I was super impressed with you on, and LMP 72. Now, I know it shows you finished down here in 7th. This is because of those couple weeks you took off. But, man, you were getting so good in that class. Well, I think the highest that you finished was 2nd place one day, wasn't it? Because everybody was wrecking out. Oh, man, they were hot. They were mad at me. Oh, they'd wreck 2 minutes into it, and they was like, only reason I'm off is because of so-and-so. I was hearing it every week. I catch a lot of stuff, you know that. But nonetheless, you stuck it through, and I remember watching one of the races right before you went on vacation, I think, to Arizona, right? I remember that week right before you did it, and I watched you like 4 times. Somebody be wrecked right here, and you would just be about that far off, and I would see your car slow down before you were letting off. You were able to catch it. And that was just because as you were developing throughout the year, your eyes were just in tune with everything. You almost got to keep one on you and one on them, But I was super impressed with that. What do you got to say about 72 pitch?
I love 72 pitch. It's nice and smooth, and it's a class where, again, it's about driving and knowing how to get on and off the trigger. And if you know where your lift points are and where you can get back onto it, you can make up time with the 72 pitch.
You really can. Yeah, and I think the controller matters a lot too, don't you?
It does, because I tried my dad's controller. He's like, here, try this and see what. And switching controllers mid-season, not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Because I only tried it for like a lane, and the adjustments on his versus mine, they're a similar type controller, but they're different. So the adjustment I would make on the one I was using versus what I made on his, it could have been a totally swing in the opposite direction than what it would be on the other controllers.
Yes.
So you just have to, if you're going to switch controllers or get a new controller, don't try it in the middle of a series.
Yeah, or at least come in and practice for a few days, right? And being that you're a member here at Lanes Raceway, and y'all been a member since we first had it, and I appreciate that, Nathaniel. You know how much it means to us. Y'all got plenty of track time.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all could come in, and the track is yours, essentially, right?
But and that's, it's $150 a month, but if you look at it, you can come in any day you're open, run any track that you got, including the RC track. And to me, it's worth it because you can get a lot more practice in and get better and hone your skills and be up there with a Randy Kirkley or a Guillermo Sire.
Well, what's good about it too is, like, for instance, Glenn, he's my star child when it comes to the memberships. He uses it like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
We have drag races. Well, we got 3 drag races during the week. Every one of his entries are made. We don't pay his buybacks, but we pay his entries. All the races we have, they're paid. You are in them. So when you think of it like that, am I a die-hard racer? You got to ask yourself that question. If you are a die-hard racer, it's a no-brainer.
Well, I mean, so come here on any given weekend, $15 per race?
If it's a pro series,
Yeah.
yes.
So
$10 if it's just a regular race.
But you racing a pro series race, it's $15. You racing 4 races, that's $60 every Sunday. Well, you do that 2 Sundays in a row, that's $120.
Yeah.
So membership.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, membership pays for itself.
Yeah, and then unlimited track time.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to a lot of places, it's anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks. Some places are 20 bucks for 3 hours. Some places lock you down to a lane. You can get on any of our tracks; they're wide open, turned on. $10 a day.
Yeah.
But if it's $10 a day, you're looking at 5 days.
That's $50.
That's $50. Do that 4 times. You see what I mean? So no other way you can look at it. It's a good membership.
It
It really
and,
is.
And what, 18 and under is a little cheaper?
18 and under, yeah, $75 a month. So Gunner, he's taking advantage of that because we're trying to get the young kids involved. We want them to get over there, get in the rookie series. We want them to start partaking in these kind of things because it's very important, and you know this. It's very important to be able to take a loss, isn't it?
It is. It's harder to take a loss than it is to win. Because everybody, you can take, I won. But if you can learn how to take a loss and hold your head up high and walk back, that's the main thing.
That's it. That is the main thing. Well, that's a good thing to end my portion of this. Is there anybody you want to shout out there, Nathaniel, before we go to the next guy?
Well, I have to thank my dad a lot because he's the one that works on the cars more than I do because he is in here a lot more. Because I have a daughter and she's in basketball and I got roped in. I didn't get roped in coach. I said I would coach.
Yeah.
So now we're traveling with all stars, so it's hard to get in here.
Like I said, they got a life. That's why we do the splits. Everybody's got a life.
Yeah. So it's like I said, if you're looking for something for your kid to get into, I'm not gonna say it's inexpensive. It's whatever you want to put into it is what you're gonna put into it. But that's like anything else.
It is.
It's a good, nice, family environment. Everybody, if anybody has problems, there's at least 4 or 5 guys that you can turn to ask for help, and they will help you all they can.
And that's every day.
That's every day. It doesn't matter what it is. If they can help you out on some way, if you need a part and they have it, then they'll give it. They'll let you use it. A lot of us racers, even in the pro series, we'll do that for each other. We're competitors, but I don't want to beat you because your part broke and I had one sitting over here in my box not being used. If I got it, I want to beat you because you're at your best.
That's it. That's the key. Well, Nathaniel, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for talking about all the series racing, and I hope to have you for the future.
I'm here.
Next 4 Crowns. We already got pictures of 4 Crowns guys up on the wall. I'm going to see you in that king suit one of these days, ain't I?
Hopefully.
Thank you, Nathaniel. All right, next up is going to be 5th place, Jay Latham in the Subway Group 20 wing car. Here comes Jay Latham, repping the Winter Series 2024 hoodie. And that's my fault. They should have shirts here today, but we didn't get them in time. The shirts that they're going to be getting there in the bottom right-hand portion of your screen there, that's the 4 Crowns. Shows who won the series on them and stuff. I kind of just put the spoiler up there, but nonetheless, sorry about that. All right, Jay, let me get this in close on you. All right, Jay, let's start out with the Group 20 wing car class, the Purple Crown, the Winter Series. What'd you think about the wing car on the orange track?
Well, I think everybody kind of struggled a little bit with that series. A little challenging. Which last time we ran on that track, I did a lot better than this time. I don't know. I never could get my car quite figured out. Something changed.
I'll tell you what changed. We went from up there to down here, so we put the track back together. You know.
So the track was a little different.
Yeah, and you know that's a good time to talk about this, Jay. We're going to be taking that track apart, and we're going to be refurbishing it. I guess we're going to be bringing it back to its old glory.
Yeah.
That's 24-year-old braid on that.
Yeah.
So we're going to rebraid the whole thing, and we're going to be sanding her down, and we're getting the dip out.
All right.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I love saying, don't forget the blip, you know. But other than that, did you feel like you progressed through the Group 20 wing car?
I did. You know, I always try to at least progress a little bit as the season goes on. At least I'm figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I do know you'd send me some pictures every once in a while throughout the week of how you worked on stuff. And between you and Bruce, some of the best looking builds I've ever seen. I know you guys like Cleve Tech out there. And, Cleve Tech, man, what a guy to put those kind of videos up for everybody. Some of those are some long-standing secrets in the slot car community. This guy's just putting it out in the air. So I appreciate it. I got a little kindred spirit with him because I tell everything I know, you know.
Right. I mean, it's hard to find stuff out there, you know, on the internet or whatever about secrets like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
And I know that me, you, and Bruce, we're all big fans of him. And, you know, I've used a lot of that when we first started, and I would always pump him out. But another thing I'm really impressed with you and Bruce is y'all's paint schemes. That blue and that black paint scheme that you put on, I think it was a 72-pitch LMP you showed me just a couple months back.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that was sweet. You need to paint me a few bodies up like this if you don't mind people driving your scheme.
Yeah, I kind of like that scheme there.
Yeah, it looked good.
Of course, I'm a fan of orange, but I like the blue too.
Yeah, orange. Speaking of orange, let's move into talking about the Hometown Hero class. What is the name of your Hometown Hero car?
Rum Runner.
Rum Runner. What do I always call it? I call it, I can't remember what I call it. It might be Rum Runner. But,
because I put the numbers on backwards.
Yeah. And the numbers on backwards, and you gave it that patina, that rustic look. Like it looked like a still out in the hills of West Virginia, you know, just barely making it. But, man, Jay, I'm not going to say what position you finished in that Hometown Hero, but you were unbelievable in that series.
Yeah. You probably sold a few motors trying people to catch up with.
Oh, I guarantee it. It was every week I was selling out of the stomp motors, and I believe you were one of the main culprits of the reason why. Now, we do know that, Gunner, man, he was really strong when that series was taking place in the springtime.
Yeah.
You know, the Blue Crown, as we call it. And then he come in here, and with the new added rules and stuff like that, where I was just really, locking those gears down. I failed, 6 or 7 motors from Guillermo at the beginning because they didn't pass resistance. And failed a few other people. Gunner was one of them with resistance checks. But then once we finally got all that stuff down and everybody was running pretty equal, man, your car just really, it was on another level of smoothness.
Well, I found a strong motor at the end of the other series, threw it in that car, I never changed it.
Really? So you ran the whole series on one motor?
Yeah.
So you just got that 1 in a million motor, didn't you? Because it passed tech.
Yeah.
Every week it passed tech. I put a stamp on it, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that was something we'd stamp the chassis, we'd stamp the motor so they couldn't just swap. And that was the most locked down class, the most talked about class for the 4Crowns. And that's why we locked it down so hard. Well, let's talk about another class that's kind of locked down. The Defense 7 Technical Group Cup used to be called Fairview IT Cup. It's locked down chassis. The gear ratio's unlocked, and you run equal motors. What did you think about running it specifically? First time we've ever done this. We've been open 3 years right at it. First time we've ever only ran it on a road course track.
Yeah.
We usually always run it on the oval, and we all opted out to do that. Did you like running it on the road course better?
Well, at first I didn't. I couldn't get it to run on that track, but I finally figured it out. And at the end of the season, I was doing pretty strong in that class.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tight class. And one thing I noticed about that class, even more so than the LMP, is, man, everybody, when we first started, they were wrecking on that final corner, wasn't they? Oh, that was so
Of
detrimental.
course, we all was, because we all just started on this track, so we all had to learn it.
Yeah, so what do you think about the World's track as a whole? Do you like the track? Think it's a good add-on to Lanes Raceway?
Yeah, actually, it was a love-hate relationship, huh?
Love, hate?
Yeah, I didn't like it at first, but now I've grown up. That's my favorite track now.
Well, see, we're trying to protect it a little bit because the Flexi Challenge is coming April the 12th, the actual Flexi Challenge, not our winter series.
Right.
But it's actually coming April the 12th. So before that race happens, it now takes just a little bit extra cost for those that isn't members to be able to run on it. It's an extra $10 for somebody off the street to run on it versus the $10 that's used to sweep it all. And the reason why is, monitor went out there, folks. Sorry about that. The reason why is we want to protect that until that race happens. We don't want no messed up braid. We want a perfect clean track. So there's no excuses. When that 12th rolls around, we want one of our guys in first place if we can make it happen.
Yeah.
If we can't, at least we can hold our heads up high and say that track was in pristine order. And if somebody's willing to pay the extra $10, that means they're going to take it serious out there. You know what I mean? And plus that helps us here at Lanes Raceway keep it clean and keep the glue on it before the corners. Because we'll be running on this here later on, you see.
Right.
Well, in closing, let's talk about LMP 72. What did you think about the LMP 72, I guess, GTP/LMP class that we had? Do you like the 72 pitch gears?
I do. It seems to run a lot smoother than the 64 pitch.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Natty Ice a while ago. I said, you know, it's funny that it's got a really good hard acceleration and a really good braking. What we were most feared of when we was running this class is that strip gears were going to be an issue. But did you have any trouble really with strip gears?
No, I didn't have no issues with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to turn on to the 72 pitch. People's warned me about the 80 pitch, I think it is, but you know, I'm almost thinking the 72 pitch is the way to go, especially on that blue track.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to set them up right.
That's it. Well, Jay, is there anybody out there you want to shout out before we move on to the next guy?
Shout out to my wife for letting me come down here and spend time doing this, and all the fans out there watching.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, Jay, and we'll probably be talking to you here very soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, next up, fourth position in the Subway Group 20 wing car, Glenn Burden. We're going ahead right now, folks. Chat's live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. If you want to get on here and chat, when I ask one of these racers questions or anything like that, you're more than welcome to. James Deckard already saying, hey, guys, early on in the chat. If you want to shout anybody out or let them know you're watching. Not to mention, after we get done with this, I'll just go through the listings on the other things, but we're going ahead and getting some interviews out of the way first. Glenn Burden. Is that good enough for you, Glenn?
That's good enough for me.
All right. Glenn, you'll probably have to get a little close to the mic. You ain't getting no closer?
I talk loud.
All right. Glenn, let's start out here. Did you get us? I'm always looking straight. Well, we got to look. You know, we got to post these pictures later. All right. That's for Facebook, folks. Let's talk about the Subway Group 20 wing car class. Glenn, I'll tell you right now, fourth place, that's pretty good. You think you would have done better if we'd have changed them brushes sooner? We did get our money's worth out of them. How long do you think it took us to change those out? You think it was probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get them out with them glue dots, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Man, that was a struggle.
We went about through 3 sheets of glue dots, you know. So.
For those that don't know, the glue dots, we get them at Dollar Tree, and they're literally that. It's just a little sticker of glue that you can stick stuff to on walls and stuff, like tacky type stuff. And Glenn, he got his money worth out of them brushes. Them dudes, let's see if I can even get that close.
Oh, they were shorter than that.
They were like that right there, folks. That's how tight he got those brushes. They were literally just a hoop, wasn't they?
Oh, yeah.
We even had one of them break.
Yeah.
But Glenn, man, you ran in an impressive wing car class. I think you got a couple victories, didn't you? One or two?
I got one, I think.
And, you know, you were battling there pretty much with Randy and Guillermo.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, my car ran good. I stayed with them, you know. But if you ever had any trouble, it was, you know, you might as well just put it back in the box and go on to the house.
What I had noticed in that series, and correct me if I'm wrong, is I noticed that if there was a wreck on the track, you hit it.
Oh, yeah. It
Especially early on.
It didn't matter. All 4 of the series, it seemed like if it was a wreck, I was right to it. So.
You know something I always find though? It seems like whenever you have the worst luck possible, it's just there to test you. And then the next thing you know, the next series that you get in, it's a lot more better, you know. Uh, well, what do you got to say about the Group 20 wing car? I know I'm asking a lot of questions. Let me know some stuff about the Group 20. What you
Group
thought?
20 was great. Right up until the last race, even though we changed brushes, we still blow the motor up the last race. So, I mean, it toasted it. They can only take so much, even if you change brushes.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know we got to get an armature for that motor before we start the next Group 20 wing car class for sure.
Always buy a whole new one.
Just a whole new one. Keep it simple,
That's
huh?
right. Sort of new it in and go on.
Well, we got 3 other classes here. Which one you want to talk about? Which one was your favorite? The 72 pitch, Hometown Hero, or Defense 7 Technical Group Cup?
I like them all.
Oh, I know you do.
I'm here to race, But my favorite was the 72 pitch. It just seemed like it was smooth and the car just, you barely could hear the cars going around. You just wondering if the car was even running as smooth as they were.
Yeah, wasn't it a funny thing? Like you would get confused hearing noises from other people's car.
Yeah. People be over on the green track or the circle track or on the orange track, and you hear their cars. Man, somebody's car's messing up over in this race, and then you look up and everybody's still going wide open.
Yeah, and then they'd slam the wall, and they were like, "Oops," because you were literally thinking that was your car making that noise, and it wasn't.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, 72 pitch was great.
Yeah, all the wimps in the NASCAR, they didn't want to run the green track. Me and Gunner, we had our NASCAR set up for green track, and we could turn 1.4s, 1.5s on it, and everybody else that was just limitless nervy. I said, we all need to learn to drive.
Yeah, the Blood Bowl. It's definitely a Blood Bowl. Remember when we first ran that first year and we had the track fully turned up?
Put it this way, the first time we run the NASCAR on the oval, everybody had 2 new bodies the next heat. Not the next race, the next heat. We run 2 minutes, change bodies.
Yeah.
Run 2 minutes, change bodies. So it was a whole lot better over on the blue track. It was more controllable, and you got a full race series out of a whole body. You know, unless you just seen one in the box in the case at first you wanted to buy, like me. You know, if I see a good looking body, I'm gonna take that one. Even if my body's still good, I'm gonna switch it up.
Yeah,
I confuse everybody.
That's what you got to do. Keep them on their toes, right?
And the Hometown Heroes, I just didn't have no luck in open modified. It just seemed like every wreck my car was in. Even if I was half a lap down and they wrecked, it seemed like it somehow or another they would get my car.
I will say this, out of the Hometown Hero, you know, that was probably the smoothest racing out of all the 4Crowns.
Oh, yeah.
Hardly anybody wrecked out of it.
It
was easy on the strike system.
Oh yeah, we was running three or 4 wide around the dog leg, and the only time that you would really have a wreck is if somebody would try to go 3 wide in dead man's corner. It don't work.
No, it don't.
No. The man on the inside is going to be the winner.
Yep, he is. And guys, like I said, you know, we have memberships here. Glenn's been a member since day one. Not only that, if there's a membership or something he can get into, he's in it. He's currently a vault member even. He locks all his stuff up in our vault here at the end of the night, unless he's going to race the next day, and we allow him to keep the stuff out.
Or unless I'm going somewhere else to race in the Flexi series.
Yeah, you, Randy, and Gabriel, Randy and Gabriel, they've been to quite a few. You've been to 2, right?
Yeah, I've been 1 last year and been 1 this year. So.
Yeah, and this year was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday, actually.
Speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about that. How did things go there yesterday with you guys?
Well, Gabriel and Randy done really well. I think Randy finished 4th in the DTM. He was in the A main, and he finished 3rd in the A main, but the guy that won the B main, even though you're in the B main, you can still win the overall race.
You gotta get more laps.
He had more laps than Randy did, even though he was in the B main. But actually, what it was, the guy that won was supposed to be in the A main, but they had to have somebody to run the A main, and the other guy was going to run. Alan was going to run 1 race, and he was going to run the other one because they were both in the different races. So
Yeah.
If they had done it like it's supposed to, they'd both been in the A main. There wouldn't have been nobody there to run the race. So they had to kind of compromise.
Well, it's kind of like us compromising last night in the 1RC racing. You know, all 4 of the racers were racing, so there was no track
No,
marshals.
yeah,
So I was like, hey guys, you wreck in the middle, it's crash and burn.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. But it was interesting. You know, we're still learning the ins and outs. But those guys are going to be here April 12th.
Yep, April 12th.
In for a surprise.
In for a surprise.
They're all set up to run bank tracks, because I think every track they bring in has had banks. So we have a flat track, and we're practicing on it every week.
Yep.
Not just on Sundays. We're here Thursday through Saturday, especially me and Randy. You know,
Testing and tuning.
We're testing and tuning, trying different things. I've changed my gear ratio 4 times in the last 2 weeks. So.
Well, and that's a good thing about being a member too, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You don't have to go up there and say, well, I got to pay $10 a day for track time.
Right.
You know, you just hop on the track and roll.
Yep. And I have a drag race the last 2 weeks, and everybody said, why ain't you drag racing? I said, man, we
Give
got
y'all a chance.
big race coming up in April, and we're not going to let them come in here and take over our home turf. We're going to defend.
We'll do the best we can, won't we?
We're going to defend hard. But Gabriel, he was doing really good in the GTP class yesterday, running 4th. And all of a sudden, the last heat, his car looked like an airplane. He had a little rip in the side of his body, and when he was going down one of the straightaways, it just lifted the car and landed back in the big curve. And well, we put it back on, and he went around and he was fixing to go under the bridge, and his car took flight again and landed, instead of going under the bridge like it was supposed to, it landed on top of the bridge. I mean, it looked just like a 747.
Coming in for landing.
Yeah, he was coming in hot. But we had fun, and we learned some more stuff yesterday, and we're going to get ready for it.
Well, Glenn, you know, you're my best bud here.
Oh, yeah.
You know that. You're here every day with me. Pretty much live here with me.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, you know, I'll always mention that. I appreciate you, Glenn. Is there anybody out there you want to shout out?
I just want to thank y'all here at the racetrack, you and Chelsea, Randy, and Gabriel. Me and Randy and Gabriel have been up and down the highway going to the dirt tracks for years, for 5 or 6 years. And, you know, I tell everybody, I said, they're my family. And you mess with them, you mess with me, so it's going to be hard to get away from me if you're going to mess with that family. So, but it's just fun. We have a blast here. And if you need help, I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. All you got to do is walk up and ask somebody and they'll help you.
Yeah.
Randy, Gabriel, me.
Well, you're really good about that.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I'm getting overwhelmed over there,
Yeah.
I don't even have to ask, guys. When I get overwhelmed, Glenn goes, hey, I'll help you with that.
Yeah.
Donovan's busy.
There's people need more wire sorted on or something like that. Well, we'll get Donovan to do it. Donovan's working on a bunch of stuff up there. Just hand it here, I know how to do it.
Yep.
And you know, it's just y'all. You need to learn when you come here to kind of sit and watch people, especially young kids like Gunner. He's sitting and learning. With Brian, he's taking care of him, and Brian's building him some super fast cars. And,
Yeah, Gunner's going to be our kid of the year.
But Brian, he would ask a lot of questions when he first came in here, you know, about how to do this, how to do that, which he knew a lot, but he still didn't know that much about the slot car business. But now he's one of the, probably I'd say he's probably just as good a car builder as anybody in the building.
I'd say so too.
Those Gunner's cars are super fast. We just got to get Gunner to slow down just a tad. And me and Brian tell him every week, Gunner, you need to slow down just a little bit.
It's that sensitivity.
And the next thing we know, he's flying down straight away and into the wall. So,
When his car's on and he's hot, though, he's hot, ain't he?
he's hard to hold back. But we have a blast here. Y'all come on down.
Yeah, come on down.
Well, you know, even if you don't want to use one of the rental cars, you know, I got cars over in the box I'll let somebody use to show you how fast the faster cars are.
And, you know, that's a lot of people, too, isn't it, Glenn?
A lot of people, you know, they'll be in here watching, man, these cars are not real fast, these rental cars. I'll pull a nice car out, take them over to the green track and say, here we go.
I hate to say no.
Oh, man.
I gotta let him build back up now.
If y'all
I do a lot of talking.
He missed his call. It was like this. He could be an announcer anywhere in the world because he loves to talk.
I do like talking.
You may not understand him, but we do.
Yeah, I guess it's a sign of I go back and listen to myself. I sound like Snuffleupagus.
Oh, well, at least you don't sound like some of them others out there talking.
Yeah. Well, Glenn, I appreciate it, man. If there's anybody else you want to shout out, good.
Just everybody come to race, even the old silly drag racers that can't turn left. You know, I go up there and play on that track and aggravate them all the time. And
There ain't nothing here that you ain't racing.
no, the only thing that I will not race, y'all, is this one RC track because I cannot get the mentally.
But he has done it.
I haven't done it, but I will not race competitively because I'm afraid I'd have to show them off. Me and Donovan would park on the cars.
Oh yeah, I get it set up. Trust me on that. Well, I've been working on Garrett's got his set up pretty good, and he's humming there in the old sprint car class. Well, I wouldn't have to help you set that up. You already know how to set it up after being with Gabriel and Dad in the UMP modifieds.
Me and Pappy get one set up.
Yeah.
And then they be called cheaters, so it don't matter.
Yeah, everybody gets called cheater here, don't they?
Yeah, it don't matter. Gabriel cheats every week. So.
Well, I'll tell you, there isn't no home team here, and I don't care if you are my dad. If you're cheating or something's out of line, you failed some kind of tag, you going to fix it.
I've seen change cars 4 times.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
We go by the rules here, don't we?
That's right.
Well, Glenn, I appreciate it, man. And like I said, after we get done going through this right here, I got 3 more guys. Then we're going to go through who's number 1, and we're going to start giving out all the prizes, and we'll end up ending the stream there. But I appreciate it, Glenn. Thank you.
Thank you, bud.
All right, everybody. Glenn Burden there, finishing 4th position in the Subway Group 20 wing car. Now, we're just going over that right now. Like I said, we're going to run through these other ones here really quick after we get done talking to everybody. Number 3, Guillermo Sire. Guillermo Sire, a tried and tested, great racer, good engineer, good car builder here at Lanes Raceway. 2-crown owner from last year. And speaking of that, Glenn Burden actually brought a crown home. I didn't even mention that when Glenn was over here, but he brought home the Purple Crown last year, the IndyCar. So let me make that known. Guillermo Sire, good to see you, man. Like the shirt, Winter Series 2024. Looking good there here at Lanes Raceway. Hope to have another Winter Series shirt coming out here very soon. Let me get this closer to you, Guillermo, so they can hear you. That microphone has a little bit of trouble picking up. Well, Guillermo, let's talk about the Subway Group 20 wing car class. What did you think about it on the orange track?
Well, I guess he's the best track to run here because it's not the flat track and the oval. So
Yeah, the flat. Yeah, oval would be boring. Yeah.
So yeah, they work pretty good. Not perfect. There's no blue king.
I know. You're piercing me there, Guillermo, with that Blue King. Well, I mean, you know how long we've been looking for one. It was funny, a guy from Tennessee Top Slots come in here, the owner, you know, and whatever happened to that Blue King? He's like, oh, we threw it away. Didn't know nobody wanted it. And you know when he threw it away was when we were searching everywhere for it, and we just didn't see his websites, you know. Good guys. Actually, that's where one of our dogs went, was go to live with him. So we appreciate him too. But nonetheless, we'll get us a Blue King one of these days. When the time's right and everything matches up, we'll have it. Guillermo, 2-time crown winner last year. You ended up taking home 2 Lord's Crowns. You took home the Fairview IT Cup and it was the oval. I can't really recall. But anyways, you took home the blue, and I believe it was the Purple Crown, right? Nonetheless, you're back in the mix again. A hard front runner. Had to miss a few weeks. A lot of people did. And it did. It really did, especially when it comes to the kingship. But it killed a lot of people, you know. And it's like I said, you know, That's why we changed things up a little bit. You know, last year it was dictated of how much you would get by what place you finished. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, man, people have lives. This is a hobby at the end of the day. We're racing small cars here. You know that, Guillermo. And I said, we got to do something a little different this time. So everybody's just getting paid the same unless they did get a crown. And it makes the payouts better overall. And you can still have a life and still do decently, you know. So I think we're going to continue that from here on out. And we're going to continue the series and stuff. But out of all the series heroes, so we had L&P 72 pitch, Hometown Hero, and Defense 7 or Fairview IT Cup Series. Which out of all of them, plus the Group 20 wing car class, which one was your favorite?
The LMP.
The LMP?
Yeah, I like it. The LMP with that new track.
Yeah, I could kind of tell just by looking at this paper. They don't know yet. But the LMP was a scorcher, wasn't it, for you?
I like it, yeah.
I mean, man. And so you're saying you love 72 pitch LMP right now. You're really loving what we're running right now, ain't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I like the 3 classes right now.
I'll tell you right now, we have all been wondering how you're getting those cars to wind so fast in this class. Because, see, they don't know what's coming for them April the 12th. With the lap times you're turning anywhere from 5 seconds to 4.8 on some occasions here.
Yeah, that's testing on the race.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about. In the race, you're 5 seconds to 5.2. But everybody's drawing power at that point. But I've seen you turn them times. You, Randy, and Sean are about the 3 guys. And
I think Sean is the quickest on
yeah. Well, you and Randy though, let's be honest when it comes to the LMP 72. You guys are a force to be reckoned with when it comes to just not wrecking.
Yeah.
Keeping the car on. That's key. You wreck one time, it's over.
Yeah.
You know. And Randy found that out right after you got your new Carlstein controller. Did you see his birthday present? Yeah, I got it for him for his birthday. I still love my dad. Now, I'm not going to let him cheat. But at the same aspect, I seen how well you did with that Carlstein controller. The next week, we ever talked about it. It's like, get him a Carlstein. Because the DeFalco controller, we're not talking DeFalco down at all. You got some personal relationship with Jim DeFalco. Yeah. Just got our picture made. Yeah, and I mean, you broke our track in with that Carlstein controller, 2 weeks ago? We put the glue on it, and he just set the anti-brake on it, and the car just ran. And it's the anti-brake, isn't it, that gives you just that little bit extra edge.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can play with the sensitivity to make it just roll a little bit, or not roll, but less brakes.
Yeah, and that comes in contact.
I don't use it here at all. Probably
for the flat track. Well, let me ask you this, Guillermo. Do you think, like in high-stress situations, because this is where I was noticing, 30 seconds left to go in the 8 of 8 heat or whatever, and we seen Randy a couple weeks ago, he would come off with the DeFalco. Do you think that it's that anti-brake in those high-stress situations gives you a little bit more flexibility, freedom?
I don't use the anti-brake.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, you only use the anti-brake to brake the track in.
Yeah.
So what is it then? What setting is it, do you think it is, that lets you keep your cool under those high-stress situations?
I think it's just the way the controller works. You have a lot of control on the lower bands.
The lower bands.
So, yeah, so you can navigate all those turns.
So it's more, I guess, it's more like a gas pedal and like a Mustang versus a gas pedal in a Formula One car.
Yeah, you could say that.
And see, that's how I feel when I drive a DeFalco. I feel like I'm in a Formula One car. It's hot, especially when you get the sensitivity turned up a little bit, which is a good thing. Like, Gunner, for instance, he strives on that. He loves that instantaneous power. It costs him a lot of times, especially under high-stress situations, and I think that's what's probably caused Randy, is those high-stress situations. He went through the low bands too quick, caused a little bit of shunt to come off, because when you're really in it, if you can't keep that mental faculty, especially towards the later parts of the heat, it causes those issues to take place. You get too nervous, you clinch too hard. It's like being scared in real life. And so the Carlstein actually smooths you out a little bit. So even when you do clinch, you were right there on the edge, but the controller saves you a little bit. And you know, if that's a testament to the crossings. Right now, those controllers are sold out. You can't find them anywhere.
Okay.
So you got lucky. And we did
I
too.
got mine used actually from the anniversary.
Yeah.
Actually grateful.
Well, I just heard from Randy and Gabriel, they're sold out everywhere. So, you know,
Well, I have an old model.
yeah. Did you hear that? Guillermo's got stuff on consignment too. Well, no, we sold your controller last week, didn't we?
2 point something, I think it is. The only difference I have the anti-brakes.
Yeah.
Only one show.
Well, see, Jay's running the old Carlstein without the anti-brake. So we got 4 guys here with Carlsteins now. So that's pretty cool. Well, let's talk about some of these other ones here. Guillermo, you just done exceptional in all of these, as you can tell. I'm not telling you guys just yet. Out of the Defense 7 Technical Group or Fairview IT Cup and the Hometown Hero class, which out of them 2 did you like the best?
Probably the Hometown Hero.
Hometown Hero.
Very determined there.
You and Jay Latham are
You
really
get-
close.
You get a good motor, then you have the edge in that class. It's not because it's really not driver's class, but you have to set up your car perfectly, and even that may not be enough. You don't have a really good motor.
And that's what it boiled down to. We found that out just a while ago when we was talking to Jay. We didn't know what was going on with Jay, what he was doing to make his car so smooth and fast than everybody else. And he just let the cat out of the bag a while ago and said he ran the same motor the whole series. And I know,
Exactly, because he was quick.
yeah, he was quick. He got a 1 in a million.
I got a good motor. I got it, I think, in the last race. I was able to beat him because I got a motor that was
Little too late, huh?
a little too better than his.
Yeah, and I remember,
I tested like 10 different motors together.
yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. I remember when we first started out, I felt 6 or 7 of your motors at the beginning of the series because they didn't pass resistance test.
Yeah.
And then you bought one off the thing, and I mean, even with just buying one off the thing, no break-in and stuff like that, they're all decently, respectably, pretty close.
Yeah, very, very close.
But
You have that little tiny motor that
yeah,
good enough to
you find the 1 in a million, you know, and Jay did. And congratulations to Jay on that, you know. But even then, I'll just say this, the difference in points between you and Jay was only 15 points. So if you would have had another race or 2, you would have probably got him.
I should have used that motor. I had it in my box. I never tried it.
Well, Guillermo, we went through it all. Is there anybody out there you want to shout out in internet land? Let them know that you thank them for watching you.
I thank you and your wife because you're keeping this place running and working really hard to do so. And that's.
I do everything we can.
Keep doing that.
I appreciate it, Guillermo. I'm just one of those kind of guys. Like I see a problem, I want to fix it. So I'm gonna constantly try to fix all the problems we have right now. Maybe get a little more polished. I had to admit today to my brother a big mistake that I made. But hey, you got to live, you got to learn, and you got to move forward. You can't just stay where you're at. There's always problems to solve. You know that when you're doing the 3D printing. Like how many iterations of the Guillermo Sire Pit Boy do we got? Like 5. But each time it gets better. And that's how we got to think of it racing wise. That's how I got to think of it running this place. Like I said, I appreciate you giving me and T a shout out. Far too little we get those. We usually get the other side of things. We get the comments, not the compliments. But I do appreciate it, Guillermo. We'll probably be talking to you a little bit later on, as you can see. But thank you, Guillermo. And we're going to move on into the second position. And I know you'll be doing a little bit of racing here later on. Right now, 301. I'm running this a little bit too late, really.
Interview the guys from this first round and then.
Yeah, we're just going through the points after that. All right, thank you, Guillermo. Next up, second position, Gabriel Kirtley. Subway Group 20 wing car. My brother coming up here, folks. Hop on down here, Gabe. Let me get this a little close to you. Mike don't like to pick up too far away. Say cheese, Gabe. All right. All right, Subway Group 20 wing car. What did you think about the series there on the orange track, Gabe?
It's tough. You either finish or you didn't.
Yeah.
It's just hard to run that car.
Well, and here's something I've noticed too. We had a lot of people out throughout the whole series. We had a plague roll through Lanes Raceway. Like it wiped everybody. I was sick for a week. You got sick. I'm guessing. But you got sick one week, and then you got better, and then you got sick again. And you're just now getting over it like me. So, do you think that had a, like in all the classes, do you think that had a big determinology, determining whether or not the finish place that you had? Do you think you could have done better?
I don't know. Dad's car was just stuck. But, I'm not going to say Dad was cheating, but he was the only one without a Cofer.
So you're talking about his Group 19 Pro Slot motor that we allowed?
No, the car itself. He handled a lot better than we did.
Oh, you're talking about the Frost King chassis?
Yeah, he was just stuck there. And
I told him he could have made $1 million on that car if he wanted to sell it.
It's completely. That car didn't actually exist on Earth for everybody else to have.
Yeah, well, there was.
He's over there running his mouth right now. I hear him.
Well, it's funny you're laughing. This class, actually, when we ran it in the Winter Series, back when Tom Payton was running, and he had a battle with Randy, and they were just a few laps different from each other in that one-on-one battle last year. When that happened, we opened that class up because we couldn't get tires at the time.
Yeah.
And the chassis, we couldn't hardly get the Mid-Americas one week. We couldn't get the Cofers. So we opened it all up, and everybody agreed to it. So it remained open whenever we did this. Well, he built that chassis, and he built one for Action Jackson, Gold Dust. He built one for him and then sold one to Brian and Gunner. And as we can see, those chassis are pretty good. It's almost like they need to just bring those chassis back, ain't it?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, a good Group 20 wing car Winter Series, I think. And, I guess I can go ahead.
It's fun. I mean, those motors are just so hard to deal with over there.
It's almost like they get right to where they hit a power band right at Dead Man's Corner. Like, or pretty much in the high banks, I guess you would say. So right whenever you're usually going to just gas it just a hair bit more, if you do that with these, they're going to smack Dead Man's Corner.
Yeah.
And there's a fine line when to let off, and if you don't do it, you smack that corner. And we had a lot of that, a lot of 3 strikes you're out, there was a bunch of times everybody but one person got wiped out, and there was one dude up there rolling around the track because just how difficult the Group 20 stuff was. All right, well, let's talk about some other stuff here. Now, you are a sponsor here at Lanes Raceway, Defense 7 Technical Group. And, you've been that sponsor since we've been open. Used to be called Fairview IT Cup. We've now got it as the Defense 7 Technical Group Cup. You guys come in here. I just want to talk about that. I know it's a little bit unslot car related, but I want people to know out there about Defense 7 Technical Group. You guys come in here, you put the TVs up, you hook them up, you put the Cat 6 cables. The live stream that we're seeing right now is all because of the network that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
So how much years of experience do you have behind all that? I think a lot of people want to know.
Well, I have quite a bit.
Like at least 20 years probably. Or more.
Yeah.
I know when we was kids, man, he was cracking passwords, guys and gals out there. And you've always been able to speak the language of the computer, ain't you?
I guess. I don't know.
They don't call you Livermore Lightning for nothing, do they? That's because you're quick in the brain.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I always tell them, folks, I'm like, hey, when I need somebody to be quick in the brain, knows how to talk and stuff like that, I call my brother. Or call Dad when I can't get a hold of him. This brain here don't work too good, as you guys can tell. I like running my mouth a lot. This guy here, man, he's focused. He says he agrees. All right, well, let's get back to slot car racing. You did good also in the Defense 7 Technical Group. You didn't bring home that crown, though. I'll let everybody know that. But a lot better this year than last year.
Yeah. Well, I had more time to race this year for some reason.
Yeah.
And last time I had to miss a lot. I had a lot going on at work.
Well, speaking of your racing, you've kind of stepped it up a little bit. You're like, hey, I'm leaving my wings. I'm going to fly on out of Lanes Raceway a little bit. And you've been dipping your toes into Alan Ingram's Flexi Challenge series. What do you think about that series?
It's very difficult.
Very difficult. So it fits more of your kind of your play style, really, because you've never really liked hanging out in the slums of just destroying people in regular slot car racing. You've always, whether it been dirt racing or whatever it is, you always wanted to go to that next step up. And something I've noticed throughout my life is if Gabriel's winning constantly, he's not happy. He likes to move up, and he's fine being in that fourth, fifth position as long as he can try to beat those people. Then when he gets done beating those people, then he looks for the next level up. If they're at the next level up, you get disinterested. I've always noticed that. So is that why you're there? Are you there to try to beat the best and see if you can just conquer slot car racing as a whole?
Well, I mean, it's just fun to race against people that are better than you.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
It teaches
I mean,
you things.
It's not really that much fun for me if you're racing against a bunch of people that are just starting out or whatever. Of course, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
That's not very fun.
Yeah, and there's no braggadocious things about that. Like, there is skill levels to this, guys, and that's what he's saying. It's not fun, and we've all been there. It's not fun whenever you're sitting there and you're basically asleep over there, whether it be slot car racing, video games, whatever it may be your hobby is in life. And he's expressing this that way that, hey, we want to move on up, and that's the way we want here at Lanes Raceway. If you're on the rookie class, and we all know that you're not really a rookie, it's fine to fill in for a weekend. But hey, move on up. Let's get into the intermediate. Let's get into pros and do like how Gabriel's doing here, moving on up into the more advanced guys. Like he said, those guys are good.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, everybody there is good. Every time we go, it's just really hard. I mean, everybody's good in that.
Well, you told me earlier this morning that you had, and this is what it boils down to, folks, really lightweight bodies, 005s. These guys have got machined-looking chassis. These things are as top-of-the-line Formula One-esque as you can possibly get. Like, this is the echelon of slot car racing. And, Gabriel, you lost a race because your body had a tiny rip in it. Didn't you go flying? This is what Glenn was telling me a while ago. You went flying like the CLK Mercedes in the 90s.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to win, but, I mean, it was running good, and then it got a cut in the side, and it just would not stay in it. Would go down the straightaway and take off like an airplane is what it was doing, so it just took me out. I don't like those 05 bodies.
Yeah, I don't either. I think
you have to do it to run with them, but if you get hit a few times, they're ripped or folded up under the back or something. I mean, those are hard to.
Your race weekend's over with.
Well, that race is, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like real racing, guys. And when you go into those kind of races, and like we're fixing to do here in probably the next 20 minutes, when you go into those kind of races, guys, I'm telling you, that body cost him the race. You had a guide flag the previous week, snapped. It was a Cahosa Blue.
I wasn't winning,
but what I'm saying is it cost you from finishing the race. I'm not costing first place.
Yeah.
But, let me reiterate.
It definitely take you out because you have to start with the same. You have to finish with the same body. So I mean, it's not like you can just put a different body on it and keep on going.
Yeah.
If it rips it up, there's not really. I mean, you put tape on it, but as fast as those cars were going on that track, taping that up was really gonna. You weren't gonna get it right. I mean, you were still gonna have handling problems.
Well, it's like NASCAR when they put the gaff tape on it.
And other people, so I just always just pull off instead of destroying me and everybody else. It's just you're not going to do any good, so you might as well pull it off.
Yeah, and we've seen you do that in the 4Crowns.
Yeah, I mean, why use your stuff up whenever you're all broke, So I just pull it off and go on to the next one.
Well, out of all the series, which one was your favorite?
I like the flexi stuff, so I like the NASCAR and the LMP between those two.
Between those two?
Yeah, I don't particularly like the oval, but for me, I would just soon not
That's exactly what Gunner said, and it's like we just play on what you said before. Once you learn that track, you can be so quick on it, and you never hardly make a mistake. And then it really boils down to, am I going to hit somebody that still makes mistakes? Essentially, that's why a lot of the guys that have progressed through slot car racing, they don't really like racing on the oval anymore because they're advanced their skills to the point to where.
Well, when we were kids, we liked to travel around and go to the ovals. And,
Yeah.
that's what we liked back then. But, I like the road course stuff now. It's just a lot more to it than the oval stuff. I mean, I think the oval has a place. It's really good for beginners to come in here and try to get a handle on it. And it's super fun. But as you get up, as you get doing that for a while, it gets to where it's not as fun.
Yeah.
So then, you move on into the other stuff, the road course, to where it's more you're racing yourself instead of your car being the best. You can take a halfway mediocre car on the road course and do pretty good if you stay on, because the fast guys are trying to push it and wreck, and you can just slow down and do really well.
Yeah, and Nathaniel Burden, and we talked about this before, he had developed that kind of system this past one. I've never seen him race as good as he's raced this past season. Would you agree with that too?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think he's done really well. Well, Gabe, is there anybody out there you'd like to shout out before we move into the number one position in Group 20 Wing Car?
No, just thank Mom at Subway, and just thank everybody for racing here, and keep trying to get new people to
come on
people up through. I mean, that's what we really need to do here is, get people that want to start out doing it. It's really fun. It's a cheap hobby to do. It's a whole lot cheaper than real racing. It's just fun.
Yeah, so just like he said, get on in here, get you a GRC. We got them in stock, 4.5-inch GRC. We're going to be running that Rookie Series later if we got enough races. But in the words of Wally, you never can predict a crowd. But hopefully today we'll have enough to run that race and get some rookies rolling through here. We do that every series. So at any time is a good time to join Lanes Raceway and start on that oval like we did at Slot City.
Yeah.
And it's fun, guys. We got good prizes too, so come on down. Thank you, Gabe. All right. Last but not least, first place, Subway Group 20 Wing Car, Randy Kirtley. Randy Kirtley having 595 total points in the Subway Group 20 Wing Car. Here he comes in his signature flannels. Sit on down here, Frost King. All right, I'm going to get this a little close to you. I'm not trying to crowd your personal space, but the microphone is a little dim. Let's look at T and get our picture. All right, Randy Kirtley, Subway Group 20 Wing Car. You actually sponsored this series for the 4Crowns. Threw $1,000 up, guys, for these racers. And you brought it home. What do you think? I mean, I know in the winter, Purple Crown, last year, you and Tom Payton, ripping, roaring, tearing, and grinding. Tom Payton had 3 wins, and you were out for the first half. You went, I think, to Florida and had a good time. Like I said, we only count half the races, guys. And it come all the way down to the final race. You got that 4th race. Tom got the 4th race. Both of y'all went in 400 points, and then y'all had a one-on-one showdown last year, and you got him by, what, a lap?
That's about what it boiled down to.
And it boiled down literally, guys. So they were running red lane. Randy ran a perfect section, as good as he could with his car. Tom's car slid out like that one time, and that cost him the race. But both of you guys were headhunters there, and that chassis was built by none other than Milton Gamble, who you raced with in the Flexi Challenge.
Yeah, we didn't know that Tom was getting secret help by Milton.
Milton's tough.
I guess Milton was, him and Wally was building Tom's cars, and sharing all their speed secrets.
Yeah.
And then Tom was beating down everybody.
Well, speaking of speed secrets, those guys are pretty intelligent on the Flexi Challenge with Alan Ingram, ain't they?
tough.
Pretty tough.
Yeah.
But I heard that one of the guys was helping y'all out with custom chassis and stuff that y'all been running down here to practice with. How would you say that his chassis differs from y'all's, and is it any better than the ones that y'all built?
Well, Gabriel run one of them yesterday, and it ran really well. I didn't have time to finish the one I had. I put a motor in it, and the motor, I don't know if it's just not broken in yet or not. The motor didn't want to run, so I just put it back in the box and ran the Gemini I normally run.
Ran the Gemini. So there's multiple motors that you can choose from.
Yeah.
You got the Ralph Thorne Raptor Pro. You got the is it called the Intimidator from Kelly, right?
Yeah.
You got the Enforcer from Mid America, the Speedball from Pro Slot, and the Hawk 7 ball bearing from JK, right? So out of all those motors, would you say that you finally got your eyes in on one of them that you think's doing well? I won't ask you what it is, but do you think you got one that you think's probably performing better than some of the other guys that are running up there in the top spots?
Well, everybody was running Ralph Thorne Raptor Pros.
Raptor Pros.
They're hard to get right now, so we put together cars with the Enforcer, and they don't run real well out of the bag. But after breaking them in a little bit and running a few laps on them, they come alive pretty good. So, and they seem to run better than, well, I'm not going to say which runs better than the other, but they run really well after they broke in.
Yeah.
We don't really know what the lifespan's going to be of them, but so far, you know, I ran in DTM and LMP both, Enforcer, and it ran really well. So.
Well, you know me, I talk to Roger every once in a while, and I've always liked his products that he sells, and I think he gets overlooked a lot of times. A lot of people don't even know that he's got a chassis that even is in that series. And of course, you run it, the Gemini chassis and everything. And then Roger, you know, just to kind of get some of that light out there for people to know that he's got stuff in that series too that you can run. He's going to be putting up some little door prizes and stuff like that for people that are going to race nothing but Mid-America stuff coming up here April the 12th. So, you know, you're already getting kind of ahead of the game there. You think you might be able to build something from nothing but Mid-America parts that could bring home the win all the way?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't really tried the new hardened chassis. The Geminis I have are the old style. They're kind of soft.
Yeah.
They run really well until you take a bad hit, and then when you take a bad hit, they bend fairly easy. But all of them bend, you know. It doesn't matter which brand they are. But the soft Gemini, that's what I'm gonna call, which I guess is
The soft Gemini?
yeah, the phase 1 or whatever.
Phase 1, yeah.
Even if you get it, you know, bent in a race, a lot of times you can just take your fingers and bend it back out, or take a set of pliers if you got it in your tool caddy to bend it back out and get it close enough to finish the heat. But the new ones, you know, they got some kind of heat treatment on them. They're almost like spring steel, I guess.
Well, Jay, speaking of that, Jay's got one, and he said he spent all week trying to flatten it because they're that hard.
Cleatech has some articles online now where he's been kind of tweaking on them, and you know, he's showing the issues he's having with them. He's saying the same thing. You know, the heat treat's a little off on it. That it's so hard that it's like spring steel. You try to bend it, and it just springs back to where it was at. And then if you bend it too much, it breaks.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's the learning curve.
Well, after seeing that Clevetech video, and you know, Jay, he watches him a lot too. I told Jay, I said, take a torch to the little front nose teeth, you know, for the flex.
And
That way you
soften
soften it up to be able to bend it, because I think that's where Clevetech had the most issue, was those little front noses, right?
It's on the pans, the 2 hooks on the pans.
Well, let's get to talking a little bit about these other series here. As you know, we're kind of eating into the time where you guys got to race. I got to run through all this after, because you know we're talking to you guys now, and then we're going to run through the points, and then you know the crowns. out of all three of the series here, Defense 7 Technical Group, which used to be Fairview IT, 72 LMP, and Hometown Hero, which one was your favorite in the Group 20?
I mean, I like running the wing cars on the orange track. The orange track's still my favorite track, even though I need to put a little maintenance on it. You know, and really, you know, talking about the series, the F series, where I was battling that with Tom, I ran the same car in both of them, just changed the motor, and actually set up as a Group F, it was faster than it was with Group 20. I could turn faster lap times just because it wasn't such on the ragged edge all the time like the Group 20 was. But
yeah, if you miss your braking point, you're hitting that dead man's corner.
Yeah, well, in the 20, it's a fine line as far as wanting to wheelie out. You know, all it takes is to get the car a little upset and get a little air under the nose of it. It's like an airplane trying to take off coming down the straightaway. So where the Group F wasn't quite as bad, it was more planted and you could just roll with it. And you know, I was turning probably 2/10 faster lap times with an Eagle motor than I was with the 20.
Yeah, weight would be a lot of issue there too.
Yeah, but you know, it was the same chassis, same setup, same body. My body was kind of ragged out there at the end, so it was...
The Frost King?
Yeah, the Frost King body was about shot. And it took a few front end impacts and was cracked up, busted up, taped up. Anyway.
Well, you were the talk of the town in that series and in the Group F with the old Frost King. And I mean, that's how you got your name. You've had several nicknames. Cotton Candy Randy, Frost King. When we first opened, you were so good at track marshal, we used to call you Octopus Arms. But, you know, I think Frost King's here to stay, don't you?
Maybe, yeah.
Frost King?
I can see the blue body's pretty good.
Yeah, and we just set you up for the Flexi Challenge series here in our winter series and redone a different kind of scheme there that people will get to see today, the 3-stripe, because this is your third iteration of the Frost King body. And I'm excited. I know other people are excited to see that. But nonetheless, Randy, it's so weird for me to call you that because you're my dad. So I'm going to call you Dad. But nonetheless, Dad, you have done exceptional throughout all these series. You just got back from racing yesterday in the actual Flexi Challenge series down there at Apex. If you was to ball it all up into slot car history for you, what would you say?
Anytime you go to a strange place that you're not familiar with, and the way Alan's running the Flexi series, Challenge series, you know, the qualifying is the key to the whole weekend because that determines which heat you're in, you know, A or B heat, and it's hard to only have an hour maybe practice on a track to get your car set up for it and then be able to qualify well. And especially when you're qualifying against, you know, some of the top people in the world. Jeremy Merriman, I think when we were at Helen, Georgia, he was top qualifier in all 3 heats. And at Apex, you know, there's a couple of guys down there, Wally, and there's a couple of guys from Fairview, you know, they were extremely fast qualifying. I guess, you know, that's your home track and they run there a lot. Gabriel and I are still trying to learn the tricks of the track, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We know, like the orange track here, you know, we've been racing on it 20 years. We know, we're a blip on the straightaway with certain classes, and if you can get around the donut through the S's, that's the key to making a good lap time.
Yes.
Well, they know the same thing down there. You know, the donut was the key down there. Under the bridge and the donut, if you could get through that without coming out, you would have a good lap time. And we were still trying to learn that. You know, it seemed like as the race went on, we picked up on it more and more. I was able to race better and I was able to qualify because I was overdrive and trying to get a fast qualifying lap, and then it was causing me to come off. So,
Well, do you think we have a chance at bringing home number 1 when they come here April the 12th?
Randy's going to be tough to beat. I mean, he's got a lot of practice on not this track, but one identical to it. And he sets up an extremely good car. And, we're still figuring out chassis and cars. But, we should be in top 5, I would think. Maybe.
Well, I'll accept that, won't you? Well, is there anybody out there you want to shout out?
Good, Gabriel. Y'all started doing this when you was kids, just like I did, and we've done it for the last 25 years when we put that old track in the basement, and it's always been a fun track, and we've got our own little group of friends that's always raced with his LTR cars and stuff. Guillermo started coming when they shut down everything in Evansville, and the blue track's a new opportunity to learn a little higher grade of racing, I guess, because that's what the trend seems to be. Used to
Flat tracking.
Yeah, flat tracking and learn to drive type of racing instead of just hold the trigger wide open and car setup. So
Yeah.
and it still takes car setup to run the flat track, but it takes a whole lot more trigger action to get around it than just blipping it through the corners. So.
Well, Dad, I thank you for supporting me and Gabe and yourself here. Building RC tracks here. Guys, if y'all don't know, our RC track was built by him. The drag strip up at Old Lanes Raceway, built by him. The orange track, built by him. And in my opinion, that orange track is second to none. 24 years of braid on that, and we haven't had to replace it once. Here we are, we're fixing to fix it up, bring it up to scale, sand that baby down, get the blip out so people can go wide open through there, and bring this thing back. But Dad, this guy right here, world-class builder, like he was talking about Guillermo, world-class builder. Guys, we got it going on here at Lanes Raceway. You need to come learn some stuff from this man, learn some stuff from these guys, get in here, get to racing, having a good time. We're not going anywhere here at Lanes Raceway. We're going to hit it hard and go home. Got your shirt up there. Look at that. That's going to be your shirt coming in the 11th. Nonetheless, this will be our final interview, other than our crown interviews, and then we're going to get right into racing. So you got your cars ready for today's races?
Well, I've got 2 done. I'm working on the 3rd one.
Well, you better get back over there. I'm going to go through the rest of these numbers, and then we're going to call out the crowns and call out our king and have a little word with him, and we're going to be in this stream. All right. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Pappy. Like I said, guys, weird for me to call him Randy. I've never called him that my whole life up until now. But, I mean, as respect, his name is Randy Kirtley, and he deserves all the respect due for sure. A big help here at Lanes Raceway. We definitely couldn't do it without him. He's always, like, we just built 2 tables 2 days ago and got them painted, and that was because of him helping us out with the wood and everything else. So a big shout out to Randy Kirtley. He is the 3rd leg, I guess you would say, for Lanes Raceway for sure. Me, T, and him, we're always doing something, doing kind of electrical or something in here constantly. All right, so what we're going to do now is Randy Kirtley first, Gabriel second, Guillermo third, Glenn fourth, Jay fifth, 6th place, Nathaniel Bird in the 7th place, Gunner, 8th place, Sean, and 9th place, James in the Subway Group 20 wing car, Purple Crown. And I'm going to go through all of them except for 1st place in the Defense 7 Technical Group Cup, which is our green summer crown, and that is 9th place James, 190, 8th place Sean with 405 points, 7th place Gunner with 495 points, 6th place Glenn with 505 points, 5th place Nathaniel with 525 points, 4th place Jay Latham at 545 points, 3rd place Gabriel with 550 points, and 2nd place Guillermo Sire with 585 points, and that is the Defense 7 Technical Group Cup / Fairview IT Cup. And that's also our Green Summer crown. In the Hometown Heroes, which is our blue crown or our spring crown, James in 9th place with 270. Sean with 400 in 8th place. Glenn Bird in 7th place with 480. 6th place Gunner, 505. Nathaniel Bird in 520 in 5th place. 4th place Randy, 540. 3rd place Gabriel with 565. And 2nd place Guillermo Sire with 585. That is the Hometown Heroes Blue Spring Series crown. Then we're going to jump into our last crown here, which will be our fall crown, the red crown, LMP 72 pitch. 9th place James with 195. 8th place Sean with 360. 7th place Nathaniel at 485. 6th place Glenn at 500. 5th place Gunner at 520. Jay Latham 4th at 535. 3rd place Gabe at 535. Randy 2nd place at 575. And that is our LMP 72 pitch. Screen monitor is going off there yet again. Then we're going to go into total laps turned for these racers. This would be for the kingship. Now this is all total laps turned throughout the whole series. And that is 9th place James McCutcheon, 2,973. Sean McCutcheon in 8th with 3,620. Gunnar Vender with 6,032. Nathaniel Burden at 7,865 total laps. 5th place, Gabriel Kirtley at 8,488 total laps. 4th place, Guillermo Sire at 9,536 total laps. Randy Kirtley in 3rd position with 9,763 laps. At 2nd position, Glenn Burden, 9,947 laps. All right, so here comes the closing portion here. T, we'll need to get pictures here too. We're going to start out with the Subway Group 20 wing car. The Lord of the Subway Group 20 wing car, Purple Crown, is going to be none other than Randy Kirtley. Randy Kirtley, if you would, come up here and get your prizes. And on your way, grab the Purple Crown and put that baby on. We're going to have to retake these pictures next week when they get their shirts. Come over here, Dad. Yeah. Yeah, take it with me and him sitting. He's going to sit down again. And I just want to show what he's getting here. So. But you can hold it. So here we go, folks. There's his cash money. Also, 1 month membership. Extra $100, as you guys can see there. And he's going to be the Lord of the Purple Crown this year. So we really do thank you, Randy. Is there anything you want to say about winning that Purple Crown?
Well, I was going to think my old car wasn't going to make it to the end, but it struggled through. And then I didn't think I was going to make it to the end. Getting sick right there last. So.
Yeah, the plague rolled through, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's still rolling.
Yeah.
A couple of them guys down there at Murfreesboro was sick. Had been sick last week, they said. Said it was the toughest thing they had hit them in about 3 or 4 years. And I said, I agree. So.
Yeah. Well, we've been keeping this place clean, disinfecting it every single week. So hopefully it's gone out of Lanes Raceway for good.
So. Hope it doesn't come back around either.
Well, congratulations, Randy, on a Purple Crown. All right, next up is going to be the Spring Crown, the Blue Crown Hometown Hero class for the 2025 4 Crowns. It's going to be none other than Jay Latham. Jay Latham with 600 points. Randy, of course, I didn't say that in the Subway Group 20. He had 595, 5 points from a perfect series. Jay Latham actually had a perfect series in the Blue Crown Hometown Heroes Spring Series. Jay, come on and sit down with me. And let me give you your prize. So everybody, this is what Jay is getting. That's 1 month free membership, $75 track bucks, $120 like everybody else, and an extra $100 on top of that crown. There you go, Jay. What do you want to say about the Hometown Hero class and bringing home that blue crown?
I really like this series. It's a fun series. You know, everything's close. It started out with the brass chassis and ended up building Mid-America, and it was a pretty fast car.
Well, I mean, we're going to see your picture all year long in a little, what is that, 4x9 section. You're Lord of the Blue Crown this year.
Okay.
Now, last year, did you get a Lord of the Crown?
No, I missed out on one.
So now this year you do got a crown. Last year you were the King of Lanes Raceway.
Yeah.
And this year you got a blue crown right now. We'll see if later on maybe something else changes. You might get another crown here. We don't know.
I hope so.
Well, you got $100 hanging off that baby, and that's yours to keep.
All right.
Jay, thank you, man. Thank you for being a part of Lanes Raceway.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on into the Summer Crown, which is the Green Crown, Defense 7 Technical Group Cup. Randy Kirtley. So Randy Kirtley going to be a two-time crowner. Only other person in Lanes Raceway history to be a two-time crowner would be Guillermo Sire. So Randy's going to join the likes of Guillermo Sire as a two-time crowner. And he did get a perfect 6 races. It is the Green Crown. All right, Randy. So there's another $100 to add to your prize pool there with the old Green Crown. And, of course, we are going to be getting these pictures next week when y'all get your shirts so that we can do the actual pictures to hang up here in Lanes Raceway for the 2025 year 4 Crowns. Well, we're here talking again. What did you think about the NASCAR series? Did you like it better on the road course only?
Yeah, it could be a little tough on the orange or the oval, either one, because those cars can be fast depending on how you gear them. Of course, the orange track, you had to learn to blip coming down the straightaway on red, white, and green, or you was fixing to crash into the bank. And the oval track, it was just one person on black could take out the whole field. It was about like a Talladega moment. At any moment, it could happen.
Yeah.
So.
Well, congratulations, Randy, on another crown. You are joining the 2 crown crew now.
Yeah, I'm chasing down Guillermo, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. Our final Lord's crown to be given out. Guillermo Sire. Red Crown, Fall 72 pitch. Guillermo, Red Crown. Put that baby on. Guillermo, last year, 2 crown winner. This year, 1 crown. Here's your track bucks and some cash air. $100 on the Red Crown. Let me flip that around. All right, there we go. See, Red Crown. Guillermo wearing a Red Crown this year. Last year, Red Crown, I think Randy Kirtley got it for the wing car class. So now you just need one more crown. You've had all Lords of Lanes Raceway crowns. So, Guillermo, what do you got to say about the 72 pitch? You got a perfect race season, 6 total races, 6 total wins.
Yeah, I love that track really, and the car was perfect for that one. So yeah.
Excellent. I mean, you ain't got to say much more than that because we've already talked once.
Yeah,
but next week I do want to get you to wear your shirt so we can get a picture for the wall for the 2025 series, so we can put another big picture up there next to it. And we're just going to go around this place.
Okay, yeah. I think I have a trip coming for work. I don't know exactly when.
Well, we can get this picture anytime as long as I get it up within the year,
Okay.
But you got yourself one month membership here for free, $75 track bucks on that also. $120 there as your pay basically for racing here at Lanes Raceway in the 4 Crowns and throughout the year. We appreciate that. And an extra $100 there on top for getting that Red Crown. So we appreciate it, Guillermo. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No. I already said everything before. So
all right. Well, I'll let you go back out there and get to practicing. We're fixing to get the names in for the qualifying just right after this. Thank you, Guillermo. All right, guys. Now we're going to go into the Kingship. And everybody can come up here and get their picture made with T as I call your name, and I'll give you your prize money, which is the same for everybody. James McCutcheon in 9th place for the Kingship with a total of 2,973 laps. He's going to get 1 month membership, $75, track bucks, and 120 cash. And you can give that to him and get a picture of him. Yeah, that's fine. Just let him have that. Oh. All right. Up next is going to be Sean McCutcheon in 8th place with 3,620 laps. He's also going to get 1 month membership here at Lanes Raceway, $75 track bucks, and $120 for participating in the 4 Crowns, alongside his shirt when it comes in the 11th also. So T's going to get a picture of him too. Pinball Machine said, don't get cheap on me, Dotson. All right. 7th position, Gunnar Vender with 6,032 total laps. He's going to get 1 month membership, 75 track bucks, $120 cash for participating in the 4 Crowns. Brian says he can pay me back for all the money he sent. Plus, he's going to get a T-shirt also, folks, when it comes in. In 6th position, Nathaniel Burden, 7,865 total laps. He's going to get 1 month membership, $75 track bucks, $100 or $120 for participating in the 4 Crowns. All right, in 5th position, Gabriel Kirtley with 8,488 laps turned. He's going to get 1 month free membership, $75 track bucks, and $120. T will get your picture over there. Thank you, sir. All right, let me see. I might have gave somebody. I'm missing one. I'm missing some money. Well, that ain't good. Well, bring me that envelope, because I'm missing one for Glenn.
Oh, I gave
Dad two. I gave Dad two. Sorry, folks. Dad, did I give you 2 cards? That's all I gave you? Oops, sorry. Well, I don't know what happened. Yeah, that's right. I lost one. Well, I lost 120 bucks in a card. So I need another card wrote out. And give me a 20. One second, folks. Just write out another card. I don't know what happened to the card. I could have swore it was over there. You did write out 9, didn't you? Okay, I don't know. It's gone. Oh, you had to rip it up, didn't you? Yeah. Well, just write it out real quick. Sorry, folks, this is taking a little bit longer than expected. When you get done with it, just bring it over here to me, okay? But in fourth position, Guillermo Sire, already accepting his prize, is going to have 9,536 total laps for the kingship. Randy Kirtley, already accepting his prize with 9,763 in third position. And then next up, you got it, is going to be Glenn Burden with 9,947 total laps in second position. And he's going to get $120, $75 track bucks, and one free membership totaling for $150. And Glenn, she'll get your picture right there. That. I just pulled 100 out, didn't I? Hang on, I'll get it to you. Folks, we lost one somewhere. I don't know what happened to it. I lost $120. So it looks like I'm fixing to lose even more than that. Yeah, bring me that 20, Glenn. I'll just stick this in here. You got 100 in there? All right. Till get you at. Sorry about that, Glenn. Glenn was getting shortchanged. No, I didn't. Give him a $100 bill. Sorry about that. I showed y'all 220s there. Anywho, nonetheless, it'll all get fixed. It's all going to get fixed, even if it costs me an extra $120. I don't know what happened to the other 120. I probably just lost it somewhere. It'll show up somewhere, surely. Nonetheless, Glenn Burden, second position, 9,947 laps. We appreciate it, Glenn. And like I said, 1 month free membership, $75 track bucks, and the $120. That leaves one position left to be had. And it's none other. He's been king once before. He's going to be king again. Jay Latham. Jay Latham will represent the kingship yet again, hanging on to his kingship. I'm going to robe him up here. Come on over here, Jay. Let me robe you up. Here's your staff. Here's your crown. And come on over here and sit down so everybody can see you. Now, he does get a little bit more for being king. It requires sheer dedication. Almost, what is that, from 9,947 to Glenn Burden to 13,643 laps. That was the difference between your first and your second place. Big crown here, lots of hundreds on that crown. He's also going to get 1 month membership and 375 track bucks to spend as he pleases here at Lanes Raceway, plus those hundreds on his head. He took home a crown, got an extra 100. On top of taking home a crown, you get one. Ooh, there goes the crown. Let's take his crown off since he's got a ball cap on too. You got $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $600 on top of that crown too for being the king. So he was here every single race, showed sheer dedication, did not back out. When you had trouble with your car, you fixed it. You put it back out there. You ran it. I mean, what else could we ask for a king of Lanes Raceway?
Yeah, it was really all about showing up every Sunday and making laps.
Making laps. You didn't always have to win first.
No.
You didn't always have to do really, really well. But it was dedication, taking the losses in stride, coming from a loss, coming back stronger next week. I mean, how many messages you think you sent me over the season showing what you done different the following week and everything else? There was a ton.
I was always trying something different just to make it a little faster.
That's it.
have trouble with something, try to fix it, come back and do better next week.
Well, we're fixing to put a big picture of you again up for the year. And then, of course, we're going to have all of us stand like we did last year, too, and that will remain here.
Yeah.
But we, at the end of the year, you know, you get to keep that big poster. You got one right now. I'm just curious, where is the big King poster of Jay right now?
I tried to put it above my bed, but my wife wouldn't let me, so.
Oh, yeah? Well, good. So it's probably out in the garage or something?
It's rolled up in the closet.
Rolled up? Well, hey, memories are being made.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, congratulations on being king. When these shirts come in, we'll get a picture of you, and you're more than welcome to take those hundreds off of your king's crown there. But yet again, King Jay for another solid year. So every time you walk in the door, hello, King Jay, yet again.
They're going to stare at my mug all year long.
That's it. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
All right, folks, like I said, what a 4Crowns we've had. T's going to get a picture of Jay with his $100 bill hat on pretty much. And like I said, he got quite a bit more than everybody else, but he showed forth a whole lot of kingship qualities. And when you put in the dedication, you put in the work, you show up, you don't quit, you keep fighting, those things are rewarded, and we appreciate Jay there. The 4Crowns shirt should be here the 11th. We'll be doing some updates on Facebook for that. Other than that, folks, we're fixing to shut this live stream down, and we'll be back here shortly for our 3 races here on Sunday for the Winter Series. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys stick with us, and let's continue on. We're in the Winter Series right now. We're going to be starting with DTM on the blue track first up, LMP second, and GTP to get prepped up for that Flexi Challenge Series coming here April the 12th. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless you, and I hope you had a good time.